¿Qué lo que mi gente? Yo soy Ricky de Bilingue Vlogs, and look, we're on our last pronunciation video. Let's get started. We're going to be talking about las letras X y Z. X y Z. Now, la X can be a little bit challenging because it has technically 4 sounds. We only really use 3 sounds because the 4th one, I believe it comes from the indigenous people of Mexico. They would speak with that last sound. It's not really found around the world. The first sound that the X can make would be as if we combine the KS together. So if you remember back when we talked about la letra C, when we combine two C's together and it has like a vowel after it, it's going to have that K sound. Same thing with X, same thing here. So you will find these with words like conexión, conexión. If you remember when we had the double C video there, I used the word lección. Well, you'll see a lot, anything that has acción is going to be either CC or it's going to be X. So those are characteristics that you're really going to have to pay attention to make sure that you're spelling correctly, because both of those, it can be either or. You just have to know. This sound usually happens when the first letter of a word is la letra E and the next letter is la letra X. For example, extra. Also, if we find that X in between 2 vowels, then it most likely will have the X sound. Now let's move on to the second sound of X. X can sound like an H. This is most commonly found with places or names. So let's look at a few. Everyone knows Mexico is not pronounced like Mexico in Spanish. It's Mexico. Mexico. Correct? We also have other places, like another place in Mexico, Oaxaca. Oaxaca. We could take a look at names like Javier. Now, let's take a look at the next sound of la X. It can sound like an S. I have found that it sounds like an S when the X starts a word. Not all the time, but sometimes. For example, xilófono. Xilófono. Or, you know, I live in Springfield, Illinois. So there is a restaurant here, a Mexican restaurant. It is called Xochimilco. Xochimilco. Now, the last sound. This one is extremely rare in Spanish. I don't know any words that I personally use with this sound, but I want you to know because like I said, I'm teaching that real authentic Spanish. So, la X can make the SH sound. Sh. For example, here's a word, michiote. Michiote. That's all there is to it. So that is la letra X. Now let's move on to la Z. La Z has 2 sounds internationally, but it just depends on where you are. If you're in Spain, it has 1 sound. If you're in Latin America, it has 1 sound. Okay? That's simple. It's either going to sound like an S or it is going to sound like the TH sound. So let's take a look at the word cerveza. If I'm saying it like Latin America, I will say cerveza. If I'm saying it like Spain, I will say cerveza. Okay? Those are the 2 sounds of la Z. Now, la Z never makes the Z, that buzzing sound that we have in English. Never ever. So never say that. Just never do that, okay? Because that will be incorrect. There's not really much to say about la Z, so let's just go ahead and practice some words. How would you pronounce this word? If you said xenophobia, xenophobia, then you're correct. How about this next word? If you say this in the Latin American accent, you will say zapato. Zapato. If you say this in the Spaniard accent, you will say zapato. Zapato. How would you pronounce this next word? If you said reflexionar, reflexionar, then you're correct. How about this next word? If you said luz, luz, or in my Dominican accent, I just say lu. Either of those will be correct. Last but not least, let's try this word. If you said Jimena, Jimena, then you're correct. Alright, that completes our pronunciation series. Thank you so much for staying tuned for this series. Go ahead and review so that you can speak like a native, you know? So that you can sound like a native when you're speaking. It's okay to have your accent, that's cool, but why not try your best to, you know, fit in with the natives and sound just like them when they speak. Hopefully you appreciate the playlist. If so, please go ahead and share the whole thing so that others can learn how to pronounce Spanish correctly as well, okay? There's a lot of different dialects, a lot of different regions, and I combine them all for you in the best way that I know how. So hopefully you enjoyed them, and stay tuned for the next videos that we have available for you, where we'll be stepping into actually speaking Spanish. Alright, I'm so excited about that. Don't forget to subscribe, share, like, and comment. Thank you, and God bless.